This is 18-month-old Ellie. She was born 3 months premature, weighed a little over a pound, and had only a 10% chance of surviving. Now, she spent 5 months in the NICU and has been in and out of the hospital 8 times since. Ellie has a trach tube, a feeding tube, is unable to talk, and must live in a completely sterile environment. However, the problem we're focusing on today isn't Ellie's health. It's her parents who just can't seem to get along. Candace claims her ex-husband, Miguel, is an absent father who has abandoned her and their precious daughter.
Miguel is a deadbeat absentee father. Miguel has visited Ellie 2 times since he abandoned us. He will say that he's coming and then right at the last minute say, "Oh, I'm sick." Miguel uses the bad relationship between himself and my mom as a crutch to not have anything to do with Ellie. Miguel is very full of excuses. My daughter has a tracheostomy and she has a feeding tube. Miguel knows absolutely nothing about how to take care of Ellie and all of her medical needs. I believe Miguel has chosen his new wife over his disabled daughter.
Well, Miguel says, whoa, that is completely untrue. He says he is desperate to see his daughter, but that he can't because Candace holds her hostage at his ex-mother-in-law's house. Now, he claims both women are to blame.
My ex-wife, Candace, is a vindictive, jealous, habitual liar. One of the main reasons I wasn't able to visit Ellie was because around March, Candace's mother had sent me some seriously nasty text messages telling me that under no circumstances, as long as my daughter is under her roof, that I will ever see my little girl. I took Candace to court for contempt because they were keeping me out of the house. That's why I can't make the 6-hour trip. They're vindictive enough and have been to where I could get 5 hours into my 6-hour trip and they could just change something up on me in a heartbeat to where I wouldn't be able to see her or your time's gonna be limited. They're just playing games with me. It kills me not to be with my little girl.
So you say he's just absent, he's abandoned her.
Yes, I do. I feel like he just doesn't care about her, and if he does, he has a really terrible way of showing it.
Okay, well, the separation agreement says he can see his daughter anytime that he wants.
Right.
And you say, despite that, he has seen her twice in, what, 10 months?
Yeah, something between, let's say, April of 2013 and currently.
And the last time he saw her was 4 months ago.
Right.
He's not plugged in.
Right. He's totally, he knows.
Is that true?
No, I'm trying to be plugged in as much as I can.
Well, why aren't you?
Because I've tried to.
It's your daughter, the court says you can see her, why aren't you seeing her?
Because when I went to go down and see her, that's when her mother would send me those messages saying you cannot come see her daughter under any circumstances. There's been false accusations against my family and things of that nature, and they won't allow me to bring her other family to come see her or anything like that, and I can't take the chance of being within that home with her whole family around of other accusations of happening.
Okay, but this is your daughter, and you have the right to see her according to the court. So why would you react to or give your power away to somebody sending you an email? Somebody sends you a text message, says, you're a slime ball, I hate you, don't come around here. Well, you have a court order that says you can. Why would you not do it?
I guess I was so afraid of going down. I was trying to do the best I could to keep peace. I truly was, and that's something that I definitely regret. I regret not going down there and just knocking on the door. Even if the door was closed in my face, I should have called the police and taken it from that
You want to talk about peace? Are you kidding me? Your idea of peace is sending text messages to me where you're screaming and cussing at me and calling me every name in the book. That is not peace. That is a flat-out lie, and you know it.
Social services record says the social worker allegedly blamed her, you, for not giving your ex-husband the patient's FIN number so he can get medical updates from the staff. Mom was adamant that she is not going to leave patient's room under any circumstances. Social worker reiterated to Mom that both have shared custody and he is allowed to visit separately given their volatile history. Mom said she felt it is unfair that patient's dad be allowed to have private visits with his daughter.
Okay, can I explain a little bit of that?
You need to, yes, because that to me sounds like you are being highly
It does.
obstructionistic.
That makes me sound crazy. But
And
let
in
me tell
fact, you wanted a new social worker because this one didn't agree with you.
The problem was when he contacted me for the FIN number, it was 4:30 in the morning. My daughter had had a really rough night. We were in the emergency room for 16 hours.
She texted me at 2 o'clock in the
I
morning.
was
telling me
letting
my
him
daughter's in the
know
hospital.
what was going on via text
Why not
message.
give him the number?
Because I was asleep.
You weren't asleep during your meetings with the social worker, were you?
No, I was not.
Then why were you continuing to say that her father does not even have the right to have the access number to get medical updates on his daughter?
In hindsight, I should have just given it to him. You're right. I will own that. I will say that I should have given it to him.
Then why did you want to fire this social worker? Because she's telling you what you don't want to hear.
I have had a really rough history with that social worker. This is one that has terrorized me in different ways, and I know that probably just seems like I'm just calling people out and calling people crazy and not owning it.
So you were terrorized by a social worker?
Yes. She threatened to call social service. She threatened to call DHS on me because my daughter spent a lot of time in the hospital for trach infections, and she was saying that I was actually making her sick. I never was making my daughter sick. And so this social worker has called me names and accused me of things that were not true. Now,
She's called you names. What has she called you?
She's called me a bad mother, and I'm one that tries to cause problems between the nurses and the doctors, and
Well,
I'm
those
very...
sound like clinical observations, not names.
But she doesn't have the right to make clinical observations. She doesn't have a medical degree.
Well, she's licensed to make those observations and assigned to the case. Let's see if you've been cooperative here.
I haven't been. I'm not as much as I should.
On May 4th of 13, you write to Miguel, "We hit a milestone tonight. You couldn't even care less." Miguel says, "Just woke up. What is the milestone?" Candace, laugh out loud. "Oh, you're going to act like you care this morning? Thought you had a trip with your precious Ugg this weekend." Now, who would Ugg be?
His wife. She has a name. I know. She has a name.
Miguel, what's the milestone, Candace? How is our daughter doing? You respond, "You'd know if you hadn't ditched her." Candace, does it not bother you a tiny bit that our daughter is trying to crawl today and you're not here to see it? Sad, Miguel, absolutely sad. Miguel says, "So that's the milestone that you're telling me about?" Candace, "No, it isn't. This is new. Doesn't matter. You're not here to see it."
She acts like I don't care about my little girl.
You
My
need
daughter
to
walking
man
would be
up and go
wonderful.
see your daughter. I don't
Thank
care what the hell somebody's saying
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you. It does not matter what I say. You should have come see her regardless of what was happening.
Oh, crawl down off your high horse, lady. You set him up for failure.
I did.
And then you criticize him when you win. It sounds to me like you are a woman scorned.
In ways,
It sounds
yes.
to me that you are pissed off that he has moved on.
Oh, no.
And that you are using your daughter as a pawn in order to get back at him.
No, it has nothing to do with the fact that he's moved on.
Oh, that's why you call her Ugg instead of Cynthia? If you love your daughter, and I know you do, then you need to decide that you want to work on getting past all of this anger and bitterness and co-parent actively. And there is no excuse, not drive time, not feelings of tension or stress, or anything else that should be a high enough mountain or a thick enough wall to keep you from being actively involved in your daughter's life. We started a very unusual search for a missing dad, a father who's been out of his daughter Kayla's life for 17 years. Now, let me tell you, this dad went missing for nearly 2 decades, and he went missing by choice. We're talking about a dad here, Jerry, who went on the run, avoiding paying child support. Now, he remained in hiding until a couple of filmmakers made a documentary about his life called Nobody. Now, Kayla says that this movie actually glorified the deadbeat dad because his home is the Mississippi River.
I haven't seen my father for almost 17 years. He was no good. He was a hobo, and he wasn't a good father. He was never there for us.
When Jerry and I separated, Kayla was between the age of 3 and 4. Micah was 13 years old.
My parents got divorced because my father was going out and partying and drinking a lot. He wasn't helping my mom out with bills. He would take his check and just blow it. After my father, Jerry, left, I saw him once in a while. I remember going to visit Jerry and staying at his house on weekends, and my brother would be there and some of my brother's friends, and they would be partying and drinking. I actually remember having beer poured on my head once. My mother told Jerry that if things like that were going on, that we're no longer to go over there without her or some sort of supervision. My father started making excuses for us not to come over. He would say that he didn't have any food in the house. Eventually, I just stopped caring. Jerry ended up just disappearing.
He can be in one place today, pick up and go to another place tomorrow. He has fun every day.
When I found out Jerry was back in town, I was around 12 years old. He tried to contact me, and I didn't want to talk to him. I had nothing to say. Sure, there are times that Jerry contacted Micah, my brother. He was around 21 or 22. Times were pretty rough for Micah. Micah was married and he had 2 kids, and he was the only one working. Jerry came back into the scene, and it wasn't a very good thing. Jerry had Micah believing that he was going to be a part of his life and his children's life. I'm sure Micah wanted that more than anything. As young as I was, I knew Jerry is nothing. He's just full of empty promises. Jerry was there for a while and ended up just disappearing again. On May 5th, 2001, we got a call from my sister-in-law telling us that Micah's in the hospital. My brother shot himself. He was just laying there. He wasn't awake or moving or anything.
My first thought was that he's going to be okay. But when I found out it was a headshot, I pretty much knew.
He was 23 years old. Jerry was nowhere to be found. He wasn't there, he wasn't at the funeral, he wasn't anywhere. He said he couldn't handle it. Not long after the funeral, there were beer cans all over my brother's gravesite. I believe that Jerry did it, because who else would do something like that? It was about a year later that I heard about Jerry. There were some filmmakers making a film about Jerry boating down the river.
Each day is a great day on the river. I love it.
I just couldn't think of why anybody would want to make a film of some homeless, dirty guy boating in a blow-up boat down the Mississippi River. The filmmakers told me that they were making a documentary on homeless people and people who run from their problems. Self's the website right here. They made it look like just a little cute story, and they called it an epic journey of Jerry Bell. He was being glorified for his life of living on the river and not taking care of his responsibilities. He owes my mom a lot of money in child support. He was never here for me or my brother.
I don't worry about money, possessions. I just enjoy life.
What disturbed me the most was that he implied Micah was a part of his river travels.
Man, me and Micah, we loved that canoe. We played in that thing all the time. I'm gonna miss him. He is my pride and joy. I love him a lot.
After trying to contact the filmmakers and not getting responses, I contacted the DrPhil show to clear my brother's name and to confront Jerry.
How do you feel about the fact, I mean, he just said in that little clip that we had from the documentary that I just enjoy life and paddle around. I mean, how do you feel about the fact that he bailed on you 17 years ago, hasn't paid child support, hasn't been involved, hasn't taken care of his responsibilities?
I couldn't even imagine leaving your children. I have 2 of my own. I couldn't even imagine. It makes me so angry that he could just up and leave like that and have no regrets and just enjoy life.
Now, Henry, you're his brother. You say that there's another side to this story, that he's a generous man, give you the shirt off his back. It doesn't sound to me like he did anything of the sort. It sounds to me that he bailed on his family, failed to provide support mentally, emotionally, financially, or any other way. It sounds to me like he's a deadbeat dad. Well, you say he'd do anything in the world for you, he wouldn't do anything for the children. Were they at the bottom of the list, or what? How does, it sounds like he was at the top of the list and they were not even on the list.
Micah was his pride and joy. He really loved Micah. And it's just, Kayla should hear it from her dad. She shouldn't hear it from me. I wouldn't want somebody telling my daughter something that I needed to tell her. That was the whole purpose of the show.
He didn't even show up at the funeral, did he?
If he loved Micah, then why was he partying and doing drugs with him? It's not what you do with your son.
How young was he doing drugs and drinking with Micah?
Micah was around 13.
13.
Yes.
Why did he leave?
Basically, I didn't want the marriage anymore.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it took the documentary filmmakers years to film Jerry because he was always on the run and difficult to track down. Now, we knew it would be a challenge to find him for Kayla, but we did.
My name is Lance Murphy, and I made a movie with my partner Alan Spearman about Jerry Bell. And the DrPhil show sent me down here to try to find Jerry to be reunited with his daughter. Yeah, his camp is right beside these, it's right behind these bushes. He likes to be hidden pretty well. I'm not sure how these guys are gonna react. We're just gonna have to play it by ear. I hear somebody back there. We always used to say incoming when we came into camp, so that's what I'm gonna do. That was kind of our code. Incoming. Yeah. Jerry? Yeah. Jerry Bell. There he is. This is Jerry Bell. You know how we spoke a week ago? I told you that your daughter contacted the DrPhil show.
That blows me away. How would she think of doing something like that? That's cool. I mean, she's wanting to get in touch then, basically. We've been so far out of touch since she was like 5, 6 years old. Yeah, she's probably wanting to get some info.
We spoke to Kayla when we were making this film.
Yeah. She's not happy with me.
Yeah, she's not. She doesn't have
And I can
kind words to
understand
say
if
that.
she wants to spill her guts and get a load off her chest on me. I can understand that to 100%. She wants to just dump all the earth's crap right on my shoulders. I can deal with it, and I'll put up with it, and I'll explain the best that I can.
He's had quite a trip from the Mississippi to our studio today. It was his first plane trip ever. He has no idea who I am. He's never seen this show. Well, let's bring out Jerry, the man that Kayla once called Dad. Jerry?
Hi.
DrPhil.
Yes.
You know this guy.
Oh, of course, my brother. How you doing? Good. How are y'all? Well, you have grown. I wouldn't have recognized either one of you.
Well, yeah, she's grown. She was 3 when you left.
Yeah.
What'd you want to say?
Don't ever call me your Southern Belle. Ever.
Yes, ma'am. I won't call you anything that you don't want me to call you except Kayla.
And I'm not here to unload on you. This is not about you. This is about Micah.
I'm hoping it's about you and helping you get over with it and making you happy and get on with your life.
I'm fine.
Good.
I have a dad.
Yep.
And his name's not Jerry.
I know, that's up to you, yeah.
How can you take your son out and party with him? I have a son. I don't know if you know that.
No, I heard that you had a kid, but
I have a
haven't
son
heard.
and a daughter.
Yep.
My son's almost 4 and my daughter's 4 months. Couldn't imagine taking him out 9 years from now and doing drugs with him. having parties with him.
I might have smoked a few joints with him, but I didn't ever
Don't
do anything
lie.
else. I'm not lying.
Yes, you are. He will never be like you.
You either have
It
or
doesn't
it's
matter
so
if
warped
his
in
life-
your head you don't know the truth.
It doesn't matter if his life ended sooner. He will never be like you, ever. He was a great man. He was a great father. What are you?
I'm a nobody.
Did you do drugs
I
with your
smoked
son
some
when he was
pot.
13?
I smoked some pot a few
When he was
times.
13?
No, he was more like 15, 16 when we smoked a joint together.
What about the
But
parties
as
at your
far
house?
as any other drugs, never did.
What
I
about
don't
the
care
parties
what
at
you
your house?
heard, but that's not true. We did do a lot of drinking. We was like best of
When was
friends
that?
instead of a father-son situation. We was best of friends. And when he died, I went through the devil. No, I couldn't come to the funeral because I was at my mom's hospital bed and seen her die. And then I was at the funeral, and then I was at the grave. And I didn't want to remember Micah like that. I wanted to remember Micah as partying with me at the river and having a good time.
Yeah, that's
Fishing and swimming and
a
canoeing.
great father-son relationship, isn't it?
Don't you think your influence on him partying and all caused him to have some of the thoughts he did before he did die? Don't you think he was ashamed and didn't want to end up like you? His children to think of him in your way?
If he was ashamed of me, why would he come and see me all the time?
You weren't there.
I haven't been there 7 years.
Well,
But
don't
he
you
came
think a
and
son
seen
would
me
want a
all the
father?
time. He came and seen me all the time before I
Yeah,
left.
exactly. Don't you think a son would want a father?
He tried to have a
was-
relationship with you. That's the only time you gave him time, is when you wanted to build a partying relationship with him.
Is there anything that you're asking for him to do that is going to help you move on? Because you say you want nothing from him, but let me tell you, if you go through your life with hatred and resentment in your heart, I guarantee you, you and your father are locked together like that. He is controlling every day of your life if you are eaten up with hatred and bitterness and resentment towards him. At some point, you've got to be willing to let it go. And I commend you for coming. I do, Jerry. I commend you for being here. And, you know, I wish you hadn't left when you did. I wish you hadn't run from your responsibilities. I wish you hadn't allowed yourself to fall into alcoholism and a drug lifestyle. I wish a lot of the choices you had made that you hadn't made, but you made them, and that was then, and this is now. And you know, he did come, and he is here. But I'll promise you, at some point, you've got to let it go. You've got to forgive him, and you got to move on. You've got to decide, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life with a heart full of bitterness and hatred towards my dad, because it will affect you in everything that you do.
Life's too short not to enjoy it. Be happy.
And I know you don't want any advice from him. And it doesn't, when you forgive him, that doesn't say, okay, then what you did is all right. And, you know, you haven't said some of the things that I hoped in my heart you would say. I hoped you would come out here and say, I'm sorry, I let you down. I apologize for that. I wasn't thinking right and clear, and I am sorry. And you didn't do any of that. And I told you before you came out here, don't expect for people to give you what they don't have. On the other hand, you got to imagine that this is kind of overwhelming for somebody that lives in a raft. I mean, all of a sudden they're on an airplane, they're in Hollywood, they're in a studio here with 250 people leaning forward and looking at them. I mean, you know, this is not an easy row to hoe. Think about it. Well, today I'm going to talk to two sisters and their brother who say they desperately need my help. Now, their parents divorced 9 years ago, and now they say their dad is, well, they say he's a deadbeat. One of them got a letter from their dad when she was just 12 years old that she wanted to share with me. Take a look.
This is a letter my dad sent to me in 7th grade, and it really broke my heart. Hey, baby girl, I haven't called in a while, and I probably won't call again for a while. I wanted to let you know that what's going on from my side. Your mom and I can't seem to communicate without her being completely ridiculous. faced with a dilemma by your mother and allowing her to abuse you guys by holding your visits over my head. Or I can give up my parental rights to you guys. By law, I have no claim to you as your father. I couldn't see you or talk to you if your mother doesn't permit me to. You're not much different than now, huh? Fortunately, it only affects us until you're 18. It is not by desire, but out of necessity of survival that I must follow this course of action. Talk it over and let me know, or else I'm going to go through this path, and I hope it won't affect the way you feel for me, your dad, forever.
Well, that was 17-year-old Amber. Now, her 19-year-old brother, Zach, says he is so mad at their dad that he wrote him a Facebook message telling him all the ways that he needs to change.
This is part of a recent Facebook message that I sent to my dad. Dad, the bottom line is I want my dad back. The dad I used to have that would sit down and have talks with me about whatever and not really judge me. And I miss the dad that used to hold his head up high and put his kids before anything else. His real kids. Look, Dad, I love you, I do, and that's why I'm the only kid of yours that hasn't totally given up on you, because I think you have the potential to be our dad again, but you do have a lot of work to do.
Well, you just heard from brother and sister Zach and Amber, and they've not seen their dad in 5 months, but for their younger sister, Katlynn, it's been over a year. Now, Katlynn actually wrote me a letter, and so since we're kind of reading letters and messages here, Katlynn, why don't you read me some of yours?
All right. Dear DrPhil, I was wondering if you can help me knock some sense into my deadbeat dad. I'm 16 and I hate my dad. He would fail to show up on weekends that it was his turn. He wouldn't provide insurance, and he doesn't pay, and it irks me because I'd want to do things I'd want to do. I don't even know if I could stand to see him because every time he somehow has stuff he needs to do instead. DrPhil, what do I do to get everything across to him?
So, if you still want to get his attention, if you still want to get some things across to him, then you must still care about having him as a father.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why? What is it you want?
Well, we used to be able to hang out and have fun and play board games and act like a true family, but now it just seems like we can't even do that anymore without him complaining about something or just not being there.
You say you haven't seen him in over a year.
Yeah.
And you say there are at least 20 meetings that he has set up and failed to show for.
Yeah, several
20 times he said, I'll be there, I'll do this, I'll do that, and didn't show.
No.
Well, what would you say if I told you that he says that you guys are just a bunch of drama queens?
I would say that's a very classic Todd thing to say.
Yeah.
He always blames everyone else for everything.
Well, actually, he says y'all are drama queens. You, he says, he doesn't even really know you.
We don't really talk. For the last past year, we've had an occasional text message or email, but he doesn't really try. Like, I try emailing him, a couple days he'll try, or sometimes I won't even know if he has a cell phone or anything, really.
Todd always says he's going to pay his child support, and then it never comes through.
My dad is definitely a deadbeat dad.
Some of Todd's excuses for not paying his child support: he hasn't gotten paid from his last job. He has to buy stuff around the house. He had to pay all of his bills, and he's going broke.
One of my favorite excuses that he's ever made is he just doesn't feel like he should because we're all pretty much grown up.
Yeah, there's always an excuse. There's a reason why I'm not paying it. It's because I don't have it. You can't pay what you don't have.
Tell me what your goal is here today. What would have to happen for you to go, this was a home run, I'm glad we had this time together?
Well, DrPhil, I love my kids. I want to spend time with them. I always have wanted to spend time with them. My goal today is that we can break down the barriers. There's a lot of lies that are going on right now, in particular on what my part has been in the past and how many times, out of those 20 visits that were set up and so on, most of them were Heidi's fault why I couldn't come. Only 3 of them did I cancel on. The rest of them, she wouldn't let me get there to pick them up because I was running too late for her schedule.
I kind of approach these things in a real simple and fundamental way, which is very results-oriented. And you have not seen Katlynn in a year. Now, and I got to be honest, just like I ask you guys to be honest, and tell you, I am very skeptical that there is any theory under which you would not see a child of yours for a year, whether it's money, jobs, ex-wife, conflicting schedules. In a year, you can't arrange to get in front of your own child and hold her hand, look her in the eye, talk to her, be with her, not once in a year? Now, how are you a victim in that regard? I don't get that. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest with you.
No, absolutely. A year ago, my daughter Amber went through back surgery. Her mom didn't even want me to be there. She did everything, including not even tell me the time that it was going to be there. If it wasn't for Amber,
you don't need her permission.
I understand that. But if I am not allowed to go to her home, if I can't even communicate with her, she put a block on the phone so I couldn't call my kids. She grounded her from Facebook
because Caitlin asked.
She grounded her from Facebook, so I had no way of contacting her. The only way that I could do it is to go out there. Last year in September,
you can meet them at Walmart.
I'm not done. When I'm done, you can talk.
You need to be respectful of them too. Instead of telling lies.
Okay, I lost a partnership that I had where the business was going down. I had no money. I had $2,000. The $2,000 I got last September that I got from the job, selling my part of the job. I took all of it and paid it towards child support so I could get caught up on it.
Isn't that your responsibility to be caught up? Isn't it your responsibility to pay your child support and to be caught up?
Listen, I understand you don't want to be interrupted, but neither can you filibuster.
Okay,
you have to give these people an opportunity to respond.
Absolutely.
Heidi, what did you want to say?
I called and I told you the basic information for Amber's surgery. Then I told you the rest of it was on you. It is your responsibility as a parent, if you and I don't get along, call the stupid hospital and get that information. You made it up there. No, I don't want to deal with it.
I shouldn't have had to call the hospital. You should have told me where my daughter is going to have surgery.
I did
Amber,
tell you.
What did you want to say?
When it was going on.
Hold on. What do you want to say?
With the job thing, Dad, you have an education. You have more of an education than Mom, and yet you could get a stable job. You've had a stable job, and you left it to get your wife, fix things with your second wife.
I didn't leave things to fix anything with my second wife.
That's what you told me.
I came back here to
that
be
as
with
soon
you.
as you came
I
back.
never told you that.
Yes, you did. And also for my surgery, you're my dad. You shouldn't have to go through with my mom, who you know you guys don't have a good relationship with. Couldn't you just do it and have responsibility to yourself?
I did. I didn't even talk to her. I was nice and polite to everyone. She was the one that came and was rude.
Why is everything Mom's fault? So what if she's rude? She has hostilities for you for a really good reason.
What about when Amber came to live with you and you were supposed to put her through therapy? You decided that, you couldn't try to put the money.
You know why? Because I had to put that $1,500 into a lawyer because your mom was trying to get back at me for being late on child support, which I just happened to pay and get caught up that day. I get a letter in the mail.
If you couldn't support yourself, why the hell did you go and get married and support a whole other family? Your wife didn't even have a job, and she had three kids.
Amber,
and then you accepted Adrian, who's a homeless kid in your house.
I work 3 jobs sometimes at a time and can't support myself because that's just the way the economy is.
Well, then why don't you look at getting a different job?
You have an education.
Why is that their fault?
You're fluent in Spanish, Dad. What can you not do anything with that?
All right. Katlynn, what do you want to say?
Yeah.
You don't know me because you haven't tried. I understand you get occasional text messages, but it's not enough. I'm a kid and I want my dad there. Every time you try, you just don't. It doesn't seem like you want to be there. It seems like you have to be there for me.
Every time I tried calling you last fall, every time I text you, every time I tried Facebooking you, there was no response there. Eventually, you try and you try and you try, and then what can you do? If you're not getting a response on the other side, I didn't have a job. I didn't start working until January, from September till January. I tried looking for a job. I went and applied all kinds of places. We're in a recession. You want to be real, let's keep it real, okay? Out of what I've made, that total income, I have employees I have to pay taxes, I have a truck, I have insurance, I have to buy new tools.
You get all your money under the table, Dad.
Wait. Todd has so many reasons why he can't pay his child support to see his kids that I want him to listen.
I'm late,
Here's what you say. You say,
great.
I can't pay because I don't have it. You can't pay what you don't have, right?
That's true.
It's just can't get blood out of a turnip, right? Okay, he's changed jobs and so not making money, only made $12,000 last year. As a contractor, it takes 60 to 90 days to get paid. He says when one parent can take care of the kids and the other can't, you just make up for it. You come together and you make up for it. Heidi blocked my phone, so I couldn't call them. She grounds the kids if they talk to me. You think she punishes them if they talk to you?
They've said that. That's their words. I was just reiterating what they had told me, Dr. Phil.
So she's trying to keep you apart.
She is trying to keep us
that
apart.
true?
That is so not true. These kids are teenagers. They have the right.
You're such a liar.
Excuse me.
Such a liar.
You told me to be quiet. Now
You're such
be
a
respectful
liar.
yourself. I know that's difficult. It is your responsibility as their parent, if they're coming down to see you, to provide transportation.
Hang on,
Amber
wait.
said,
They got to go on
you're interrupting me
4
again,
cruises, too.
We've been
in the
on
last 3
one, and that was
years.
to help me through my surgery, Dad.
That was not to help you through the surgery.
Do you know how much it hurt?
Todd, does it
Do you know what it's
really
like to
matter?
go without food?
Does it
Do you know what it's like to go
matter?
without
Really gonna pull
clothing?
that crap?
To lose your
Hey, shut
apartment,
up.
your
Do you have
truck,
little
and your
rods in your
trailer?
back? Are you freaking kidding me? Do you even have an idea of what she goes through on a daily basis?
I do.
Does it really matter if I took them on a cruise, whether or not you see your children? She drove down there. I
Heidi,
didn't
let's
stop
not
them.
play these games. You know darn
always a game.
you know darn well that you have kept them away from
No.
me for as much time as you possibly can. And you even say, and I've got witnesses who have heard you say this, that you want to keep them and make my life as a living hell. Let's be real
I'm
here.
the one
Quit
taking
coming
care
out
of
here
them.
like you're some angel. That,
No,
yeah,
I did
yeah,
block your
I do
phone
have
for
a
a
lot of
period of time
excuses why I haven't
because
seen my
you were
kids.
hurting
And all of
my
them are
kids.
mostly because you can't let go of me.
I hate you. I love them.
Why do you hate me?
Because you hurt
I haven't
my
done anything
children
to you.
time and time again.
I paid you the first 3 years we were divorced.
Come on.
This
Her and I.
isn't about
It's not
father
about you, too.
and mother problems. This is about a deadbeat dad.
To you.
All right, stop talking. Let me ask you a question. Why are you angry with your children?
Because they're on her side. They don't see, Dr. Phil, they don't see all the times that I've come home crying because I went to pick up my kids. I get halfway there, and she tells me on the phone, you're going to be more than 5 minutes late. You don't get to have the kids. It doesn't fit into her little schedule.
Okay, but why are you angry with your children? You haven't seen 2 of them for 5 months.
That was their choice.
You haven't seen 1 of them for a year.
Her choice.
And you come out here, you don't even acknowledge them when you first come out here.
You didn't even look at me when you sat down.
You know why I can't look at you?
Why, Dad? Did I remind you too much of my mom?
Probably so.
Is that it? You can't
Probably
face
so.
the truth coming out of anything? You can't face it straight on?
Did you just say, I can't look at you because you do remind me of your mother? Perhaps that's true.
Her behavior is, you see the way she's like, blah, 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 blah. Her mom is like the most rude person I've ever met in my life. I'm a nice guy. Everybody knows me. No, I'm serious. You guys laugh. I'm the nicest person that most people will ever meet.
Let me introduce, this is your current wife, right?
This is Rolanda, yes.
Okay, Rolanda. Now, if I were you, at one level, I would be very flattered that I had 3 children that were making such a gargantuan effort to close the relationship with me as a father.
They could have called me.
Okay.
They didn't have to.
We
put
didn't
it
have
on
your cell phone number because you didn't give it to us.
I don't know, Zach.
I'd
I
asked
seem to
for it.
have Facebooked you that same number 3 times.
Isn't that weird?
Because I
You
didn't
posted
get
it
it, Dad. It's on there.
Isn't
It
it
was
weird
posted
how you
once.
say you couldn't
Amber
call
has
us
it.
because mom blocked
When the
us, but you
studio
could've
called me, they
messaged us
called
when
me
we
by
were
my
there.
cell phone number that you gave
As
it.
soon as he got the phone, he messaged you guys. I read the message.
I know, I got the message saying that, hey, Amber, can you give Zach
Okay,
He
but
sends
what
you
do
his
you-
phone number?
He
No,
tries
it's
to
all about
talk
how
to
I
me
What do you-
all
hold
of
on.
the time.
What do
He
you
tries.
want?
Shut up, Rolanda.
What would you like for your
Don't
children?
speak to me like that, young
Don't.
lady.
Speak to you how I
Amber,
No, you can't.
let Dr.
Okay.
Phil talk, please.
Oh,
He's
hold
asking
on.
me a question.
Did you
All
hear
right, hold on.
this? Are you going to come over here and do something about that?
Look, that's not
Relax.
what we're here for. Look, not even God can change what has happened. Okay? So, and I don't know whether he will or he won't, but I know what he's saying. Are you willing to try and move forward and see if in fact you guys do spend quality time together when you're available and he's available? Is that something that you're willing and open to do? And is it something you're willing and open to do?
Yeah, I'm willing to
Doesn't
try.
mean that you have to like every decision he makes or that you even have to like his wife. What you do have to do is conduct yourself with dignity and respect and don't disrespect his wife or anyone else in his life. That's an unkind thing to do, and you shouldn't do that. But he's saying if he reaches out to you, are you willing to respond to that and do that?
I am willing. I am open.
Okay,
to
and
try.
how about you?
Yeah.
Because he says there's a lot he doesn't know about you, and you say, I don't feel good enough for you. Well, he's saying, I want you to feel good enough. He wants to spend time with you. Are you open to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're open to do that. Trisha and Danielle are devastated because they say their dad left their dying mom's bedside, a woman he had been married to for 30 years. They say he left the bedside to pursue an online relationship with a woman who claims to be a Kennedy. Yes, that's right. Third cousin to John F. Kennedy, to be exact, and an heir to a $23 million fortune. Their parents were married for decades, and this Kennedy affair has ripped their family apart. Take a look.
My parents' love for each other was unconditional.
I always saw them as best friends. Everything changed when my dad met a woman named Misty online.
It started out as a friendship.
I fell in love with her, she fell in love with me. She promised that we would be together forever.
When my mom found the messages, it made her feel heartbroken and unloved.
In the midst of the Misty situation, my mom started feeling sick. My dad noticed something was seriously wrong.
My mom was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia M6.
The survival rate is 0.
My mom was very saddened that my dad wasn't there.
He'd leave the hospital room to take calls from Misty.
My dad basically abandoned my mom. I felt very disgusted.
My mother asked me to actually contact Misty. The messages that I sent Misty came from a very hateful place. I was defending my mother and my family. The death that my mother went through was very excruciating.
I definitely believe that my mom passed away with a broken heart.
My heart went the other way. It wasn't Misty's fault.
My dad destroyed our lives for a woman he's never met.
Well, Trisha and Danielle say their father was hooked the minute he met Misty because she offered him a life that he could only dream of.
When Misty Kennedy first started talking to my dad, she claimed to be a real part of the Kennedy family.
Part of the JFK line.
She said she lived on a property in Virginia, a very large, elaborate farm with the guards and the whole 9 yards. She said that she had inherited a couple $1 million and that she wanted to share that money with my father and give him the luxury houses, the boats.
Cabins, cars, everything that she had, he was going to be receiving.
Misty went as far as to have a gentleman call and pretend to be her attorney and say that my father would become conservator of her estate. My dad wants what everybody wants, the big dream, and she offered it. She offered it times a million.
You are really upset with your dad.
Yes.
And obviously, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Mm-hmm.
That was very difficult. That's a very serious illness. It moves quickly. And from the time your mother was diagnosed till she passed was a very short window, right?
44 days.
44 days from diagnosis to passing. Okay, and you said he was at the hospital taking calls and going out and talking to Misty out in the hallway. Y'all feel like it really hastened her demise.
On her illness, she was so stressed, so distraught, and it didn't help when you're supposed to be in a time of being positive and thinking that you have a chance to fight something that your husband's having an affair.
The feeling that I had when I first met Misty, it was just a friendship, but it just progressed from there. The more we talked, the more she fell in love, the more I fell in love with her. She loved the kids, she loved me deeply. She was into what I did for a living. She listened to our music, she loved the music. Everything was beautiful about it. She felt that I was her first love that she ever had. Misty and I talked about having kids. When Misty told me about the Kennedy family, it was cool. I was really honored to even have her part of my life. Misty and I both decided that she wanted to buy a nice home up in Traverse City, Michigan, up on the bay. We were going to use it for a vacation home. When I proposed to her, I felt that she was the one. I felt it by the way she had spoke to me and shared her love. I mean, she shared her whole world with me. I was excited when she said yeah, and her plans of wanting to go to Hawaii for the honeymoon.
Ron, do your daughters here have a reason to be upset with you?
They do, they do.
But they're upset because A, you left their mother, B, you got involved with somebody else while you were still married, and then were actively involved with her while their mother, your wife, was fighting for her life. And that's offensive to their sensibilities, obviously.
Right.
Do you understand that?
I understand what they're saying, and it was all just a friendship thing. Things progressed. Their mother was upset about it, and that's when things started going downhill.
Well, let's talk about who this Misty Kennedy is. She is a Kennedy heir to a $23 million fortune, 34 years old, younger than you, gorgeous. She said she was a brain surgeon at one point, but actually a registered nurse.
She is a registered nurse for a cardiologist.
She has multiple mansions, homes, a brother named Chad, and a father named Herbert. At what point did you realize you were in love with this woman?
Probably 3 months, 4 months after I had met her. I think things progressed a lot more than friendship.
Now, when you say met her and fell in love, you mean met her online?
Met her online, yes.
Have you ever sat with her? Have you ever touched her hand? Have you ever?
Never. I've never met Misty.
But you proposed to her?
Every time there was a chance to meet her, there was always something. And I did. November 13th, 15th, I did. Probably 6 weeks after my wife was gone.
30 days.
No.
You want clarity and answers, right?
I do.
You want to find out what's going on and where things are.
I do.
Because this is tearing your family apart.
I understand that, and we've had a lot of issues over it, and especially me and Trisha.
Things were adding up with what Misty was saying to my dad. When Dad had told me that Misty was part of the Kennedy family, I went on to Google and found that she was not on the family tree. There was no Misty Kennedy in the Kennedy family. My dad had sent me the pictures of the car accident. The car was completely mangled. There would be no way that she could have survived that accident. I did think it was very unusual that Misty was always having some type of a cancer or something traumatic happening to her.
She said she was in Virginia getting treatment, and at one point she was supposed to be in the Cancer Treatment Centers of Arizona, which I called. They'd never heard of her. She even went as far as saying she was on the 13th floor. They don't have a 13th floor. From there, she was saying she was taking private jets out to hospitals in California where they had better technology to treat what she was supposedly ill with. I feel like Misty's claims on who she is and her fortunes and all of her life conquests have been the biggest amount of lies.
Well, this picture was taken April 13th in Montana. The person driving the car, and I'm reading you a statement from Carl Holcomb. He says this picture was taken in Montana. The person driving the car was my friend, and he was killed. So we were able to trace that picture, and the car was being driven by a male friend of Carl Holcomb, and he did not survive. He was killed in that car wreck, and that car wreck was in Montana. Misty Kennedy was not in that car.
What a sad situation that somebody could use such a tragic thing to cover up something that they wanted me to believe.
Misty Kennedy had a Facebook profile picture of an actress, Alexis, I think it's Bedell.
Yeah.
That was the picture that she was using on her Facebook to start with, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did she say about using this picture?
I never confronted her about it. I mean, I just let it be what it was. The kids had said something on Facebook about it. After I think that she had read what they put on there, that's when the pictures disappeared.
Yeah, but now, come on, Ron, just one old bald country boy to another. You telling me you didn't throw the flag when you see?
No, because I don't know this Alexis
She told
Burdell,
him
so
that
I didn't
she
know.
idolized that
So I
actress.
didn't. I was very heartbroken over my wife with her cancer, and then finding out Misty had cancer. It was like a tragedy, struck twice. Misty did have leukemia, same as Cindy had. I didn't know what to do. I mean, I just watched my wife suffering through this, and Misty was in the same position, and it just flipped my world. When Misty found out she had cancer, they took part of her colon out, but it spread into her kidneys and her stomach area and her liver and pancreas and throughout her body. They ended up taking her kidney. They removed her stomach and put an artificial stomach in. They ended up giving her a heart transplant because of the chemo and making her so weak. Then after that, the cancer went to her brain. Ended up going into cardiac arrest and passing away. I feel like I lost everything. Felt like my whole world crashed.
Well, once Misty passed away, Ron expected the calls from his fiancée to stop, obviously.
Misty contacted me 9 days after they had said that she had passed away. Said that she was with God in heaven, that he was gonna make things pure for her and bring her back, and that someday we may be back together again. That he would send her back to me.
Dad had told me that he had received a phone call from Misty from heaven. What type of service is up there? AT&T, Sprint, Verizon?
Well, fair question. I've seen the commercials. I pulled up the map. Let me understand this. On July 17th, she dies. She has cancer and she dies, but she's revived. But she only lasts until July 19th, and then she dies for the second time.
Possibly the third.
You've been very upset with your father at this point. Do you have compassion for the fact that he's been a victim in this as well?
Oh, I definitely have compassion for my father. I'll always love my dad. He's my dad. But to watch him turn his back on our mother and our family, it's a lot to come back from.
But you want to do that.
Of course.
And let me tell you, when this sort of thing happens, and you know, I've worked with people that have been through this, and Ron, they describe it as a death and a grieving process. I mean, this is a woman that was your future. This is someone that you expected to spend your life with. How do you feel about this woman?
Angry, hurt. I feel disgusted, used, betrayed. Just don't understand why they would do this. And it's wrong. I mean, there's a lot of twisted people out there that you really got to watch for, and I got pulled into something that, thanks to you and your team, investigators that discovered all this and brought me to reality with it.
On August 3rd, 2009, 40-year-old Shannon was found dead in her car at the bottom of a cliff on Walker Trail in Sevierville, Tennessee. Initially, the Highway Patrol ruled Shannon's death as a tragic accident. But 2 days later, based on the autopsy report, the sheriff ruled Shannon's death a homicide. The case still remains unsolved.
On August 3rd, 2009, Hurcutt's body was discovered in her SUV at the bottom of a county embankment. What appeared to be an accident turned into a murder investigation, one that remains unsolved.
At first, investigators thought her SUV had gone off the road in an accident, but an autopsy revealed she had been beaten in the head at her home before she was put in her vehicle. But that is where her story stalls.
We haven't ruled out anybody in this case. Everybody's suspect.
Hurcutt's murder is still unsolved.
We only have one chance to prove who murdered Shannon. Justice will be served.
Shannon's sister Penny and father Ted both say they knew from the beginning that this was no traffic accident. But that is the only opinion they share. Now, while Ted says he suspects someone in the community of killing her, Penny is pointing her finger at someone a little closer to home.
When I heard about my sister's death, my first thought was my dad had this done. The police told us she lost control of her car and went over a cliff. 3 days after the accident, the police went to her house, and in her garage, they found evidence of a struggle. There was broken bottles with a baseball bat and blood on the refrigerator. That's when they realized it was a homicide. My dad has told me if he ever wanted to get rid of someone, he knew how to get the job done. I believe that my dad murdered my sister because he thought he was going to get her business when she died. In his state of mind, Shannon was a problem, and that problem needed to be fixed. I truly believe that my father has paid someone to kill my sister and make it look like an accident. 3 months after her death, my dad shot up her business with a .22. One day I confronted him, and he looked at me and said, "Yes, I did, and I'm proud of it." My dad is cold-hearted, controlling, and if you're in his way, watch out. My dad is very sick, and I can't let him get away with this if he truly has done this to my sister.
Okay, Penny, I'm glad to meet you. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm very sorry for the occasion of our conversation. You believe that your own father, the man that gave birth to you and your sister,
Yes.
you believe that your father has murdered your sister.
He had someone murder her, yes.
You believe this is a murder for hire.
Yes.
You believe that he hired a hitman
Yes.
to go in and murder your sister.
Yes.
And you believe this person went in and bashed her head in with a baseball bat and placed her in the car and made it look like an accident.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yet he walks free today.
Oh, yeah. And I fear for my life 24/7 because I just know how he is. And I got a part of my sister's business, and he's all about money and greed.
All right, now he's here today. Your father's here today. He's not watching this part of the show. We have him in the green room, and he has no idea that you are going to look him in the eye and accuse him of murder. You're not speaking to him right now. You two haven't talked for a couple of years.
Right. Deep in my heart, he knows I know, but he thinks I'm too weak to stand up and confront him.
You want this on national television. You want people to know because it makes it harder for them to come after you now.
Yeah.
At the time of Shannon's death, we were not getting along. There was a lawsuit, and she included me in it. I was angry. She was always having her attorney send me letters and threatening me. When Shannon died, our feelings were still bitter. I was at Myrtle Beach when I got the phone call that Shannon died. He told me that Shannon had an accident and she was dead. And I lost it. She didn't have a seatbelt on, and right away I said, something's wrong. That's not Shannon. The investigators came to the conclusion that Shannon was murdered. The person that killed her was trying to make it look like an accident. She had a large gash in the back of her head where she was hit in the head with a ball bat. I was considered a suspect, but I was never charged for her murder. I was not involved in my daughter's murder. I love my daughter. Just because we were in a feud, I would not kill my daughter. About 3 months after Shannon's murder, someone shot up her business with a gun. I was never asked or questioned or anything about it. I think I read it in the paper.
Ted, Dr. Phil, good to meet you, sir.
My pleasure, Dr. Phil.
Have a seat.
Can I hug my daughter?
No, you're not going to hug me.
When you learned about this, what was your initial thought and reaction?
On Shannon's murder, I was in Myrtle Beach with my ex-wife and my daughter Penny and my granddaughter. And my ex-son-in-law called, he was a policeman, and said, Ted, Shannon was in a terrible accident and she died.
Good acting, Dad.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't talk.
And at that point, you believed it was an accident?
Yes. But then the State Highway Patrol called me when we was on our way home and says that Shannon had her window down and no seatbelt on. And I told him, I said, something's wrong.
Well, let me ask you something. What is it you're here to say to your father? Look him in the eye and say to him what you want to say to him.
I know you have paid someone to kill Shannon. And don't sit there and act like you're so innocent. And then you admitted to me that you shot up antebellums.
I don't know where you're getting your story. I have been
You're
cleared
really
by
good,
the
Dad.
sheriff's department.
He's lying. He's a pathological liar, and he knows he is.
What is wrong with you, girl? I have never lied. Because liars always get caught in lies.
And you're gonna get caught, Dad. My sister Shannon was a very successful businesswoman. My dad thought he was in her will. Then after she was murdered, he found out she had taken him out. He was furious. I witnessed his anger. I'm not real sure why she took him out of the will, but I know they were arguing and fighting at the time of her death.
It is not true, but I thought I was going to be in Shannon's will. Anybody would say that I would kill my daughter for money or crazy because I had money.
I believe money was the motivation for him to kill her.
Now, you say the motive was money because you say he believed that he was in her will and was going to inherit a substantial amount of a substantial fortune.
At the time of the will, when Dad found out everything, he was furious.
Well, the first will was drawn in 2003, correct?
Yeah.
And it said that she bequeathed essentially all of her properties and that 29% of this was to go to Ted, correct?
Yeah.
That was in 2003. But then a second will was done in 2006, at which time it said, it is my specific intent that neither my father Ted nor his spouse inherit anything from my estate. And this is what you say he learned about at the time and became outraged.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
Did you believe you were in her will?
No, first I've ever seen that.
Were you outraged when you found out you were not in the will?
No, I was not outraged. I had money. I did not need my daughter's money. Matter of fact, Shannon told me that, Dad, I want to put you half on my business, that you own half of it. I said, no, Shannon, I don't want that.
Why is it upsetting for you to hear this?
It's all lies. It's all lies.
How do you know that it's lies?
I just know it is.
Right now, I can see, Penny, you are a very, very sick lady, and you really need some help.
I do need some help, Dad. That's why I'm here at DrPhil.
And accuse me of murdering your sister, my daughter. I don't know where you dream this stuff up at, but you really are doing a damn good job of it. And if you was my girl at home, you'd be getting your ass kicked.
No, you'll probably have me murdered after this. That's what.
You are crazy, girl.
It's okay. I was prepared for this, Dad.
Why would I kill you when I love you and I still love you?
You do not love me!
You're crazy. You are absolutely crazy.
You never loved Mom. You never loved Shannon. Never loved me. You know it.
I love
and
your
it
mom.
got worse after you and Mom divorced. You always said
the divorce. I didn't get to divorce my wife. I got to divorce you. You fought me more than your mother did.
Oh, that's.
Oh, huh? How about
You're such a psycho.
Well, let me ask you something. She says she's been afraid of you for a long time. She says that when she was younger, she was bothered by a teacher, and you went by the teacher's house and shot it up with a gun. Did you do that?
No. I don't know what you...
Did you do that, and did you then tell her about that and tell her if she told anybody you'd kill her?
No.
Did he tell you if you told anybody he'd kill you?
Yes, he told me, you better not say it or you'll be next.
You are such a liar.
Did you shoot up a teacher's house?
No, I did not.
Did you shoot through a window?
No.
Did you take a gun and go shoot up your daughter's business?
No, I did not.
Now, Ted's estranged third wife, Jan, supports Penny's suspicions of Ted. Maybe she has some evidence that this man hired a hitman to murder his daughter. But Ted says he was only married to Jan for 3 weeks before he threw in the towel on the marriage. Here's what Jan has to say.
6 months ago, Ted and I were only married for 3 weeks. After we were married, I discovered that Ted had a dark side. I do believe Ted is responsible for his daughter's murder. I think that because he told me he knew details of her murder that only the person involved would know. He knew how the murderers hid outside and how they got into her garage. Ted told me that she was hit in the back of the head with a baseball bat. He told me that there were 3 people that murdered his daughter. 3 months after Shannon's murder, somebody went to her business and shot up the business. He told me he was the one that shot up the business. Ted told me that if I had told anybody, that he would make me disappear. I'm scared to be here, but I'm here anyway. If anything happens to me, I want you guys to know that I came freely and willingly because I want peace in my life, and I don't want to be threatened anymore. I believe Ted is that dangerous.
Jan, thank you for joining us and being here. You were married for 3 weeks to him.
Correct.
And then he asked for an annulment.
No, I kicked him out of my house.
He may be the biggest ass in the world. I don't know. I don't know you, so I'm not saying that. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that he behaves like a jerk. That is a long way from hiring a hitman to kill your child. So what is it that you know about him? What behavior did you see? What evidence do you have that says this man is involved in a murder for hire plot?
He told me that he had shot up Shannon's business. And he told me what he shot it up with. He told me he took plates off of a vehicle that looked like his and put them on his, and that way they wouldn't know it was him.
So he told you he did that?
Yes, he did.
Did you tell her you did that?
No, I did not.
I'm not saying you did or didn't, but did you say you did?
No, I did not.
Why would she say you did?
Because she lost the goose that laid the golden egg. It was paying her damn way. She's fixing to lose her home, her car, and she is pissed. And she's nothing but a damn liar and a thief.
You did shoot up the teacher's house, though, right?
I didn't do nothing illegal. I am as honest
But the statute of limitations is run on that.
I
have
not done nothing.
You didn't scare a teacher that was really being inappropriate with your daughter?
No.
I mean, nobody could blame.
I'm not the only person you told that to.
Did you tell people you did it?
No.
You never even told anybody you did it. Even if you didn't do it, you never told anybody you did it? You didn't tell neighbors you did it? You didn't tell Jan did it? You didn't tell your daughter you did it? There's a lot of people that don't even know each other that say you did it.
I thought that we were here.
I'm just asking you
I
if you
know,
told
I did not
people
do
you
it,
did
and don't ask me no more. But we
I'll
were
ask
here.
you what I want to ask you. Don't tell me what not to ask you.
I'm sorry, Phil.
The hell you...
I'm sorry.
I'm being nice. I'm asking you legitimate questions here. I'm just asking, did you even tell people you did it?
No, I did not. I did not do it.
Did you shoot up your daughter's place of business?
No.
I'm giving you a chance to answer the questions.
Yeah, I've been asked several times now. I'm kind of
I will take a lie detector test. Will you?
And I'll take a polygraph test too, would you?
You know what, I would like to take a polygraph test. Yes, I'd take a polygraph test because I did not kill my daughter.
Would you take one right here, right now at Dr. Phil's show?
And, yeah.
I don't care. I did not kill my daughter.
I know that you have a lot of unfinished emotional business with your father. There's a lot of open wounds that you have with your dad. I don't know whether your father hired someone to kill your sister or not. I have to assume he didn't because I see absolutely no evidence that you had any involvement in her death whatsoever. I just see no evidence to that. I know that you have a lot of unfinished emotional business with him. You did describe him in a lot of ways. You said that he was always very critical of you. There's been a lot of dysfunction in this family. I think your father's been under attack here today. There's been accusations made against him, and he kind of kept his cool for a little while, and then I think he showed his teeth some here and showed that he can go from zero to jerk in like 1.3 seconds if somebody pushes his buttons, and I think he's not always the easiest person in the world to live with. So I think you're in a lot of pain, and I think you need some help with that, and I want to get you some help with that. You've gotten this off your chest. He knows how you feel here, and I hope you'll be patient in this and hope that this relationship can be healed in some way.
She hated Shannon because Shannon was a successful businesswoman, and she was not. Shannon was a slender girl. Well, Shannon took care of herself.
Yeah, I appreciate you pointing that out, and I'm certain that that's very comforting to her that you remind her of that contrast, and I think that's a very insensitive thing for you to do. That is unkind. Stop talking. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.